All right, let's begin. So first things first, we're going to start with what is culture. Like they say, we all know the popular definition. Culture is the way of life of a group of people. Welcome and say, why you late say? Like you all know, do we all agree? Culture is the way of life of a group of people. Do we all agree? Do we all agree? Culture is the way of life of a group of people. There, are you good? Can I get a yes if we agree? Can I get a no? Culture is the way of life. Oh, what are you typing? Maybe the algorithm thinks you are being rude or something, innit? Let me see. There's a place where you could see the comments. Comment setting. Okay. Mask. No, let me remove. Okay, I think I have filter comments. Okay. 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 I think I've done it now. So now I think I've adjusted the settings. I've seen it. We saw the comments there. Meanwhile, that name there, my sister started answering the name there. So we can see the comments actually. So guys, culture is the way of life of a group of people. Do we all agree? Do we all agree? Remember, the topic today is stagnant culture and the damning effects. Stagnant culture and the damning effects. Do we all agree? All right. 1 minute, guys. One minute, guys. I'm coming. Okay, good. So, if we say culture is the way of life, Douglas, why is Douglas not typing in the comments? Like, why are you not active in the comment, Douglas? So, if we say culture is the way of life of a group of people, the valid question we must ask is, are you part of the group of people that culture includes? All right, no problem. Are you part of the group of people that makes up the average behavior or thinking within that culture? Or are you part of the group that was passed, that certain behaviors and beliefs and thinking were being passed to? Which category do you belong to? Category 1, are you part of the group of people that formulated the way of thinking or the way of behaving? Or are you in the group that inherited a way of thinking or behaving? Which group do you all belong to? If you're in group 1, drop a 1. If you're in group 2, drop a 2. I believe nobody on this live is part of group 1. I believe there is nobody on this live that is part of group 1. Guys, what we are discussing today, very key. And I want you to take notes if possible. I think this live we might have part 1 and 2 of this live. Then this live can take 3 months, this topic, but I want us to do a deep dive. Like I told you guys, the mode in which we are operating lives is changing. So we are going to be going things that we need to go very deep with. We are going to go very deep. So I said, culture is the way of life of a group of people. Group 1. The valid question was supposed to be asking, group 1, are you part of the group that formulated the way of thinking or behaving? Or are you part of the group that inherited the way of thinking or behaving? Which group do you belong? I can bet nobody on this live is on group 1. There is nobody on this live that is currently part of group 1. So which group do you belong to? Let us continue. Which group do you belong to? Group 1 or group 2? Guys, you know how we do. Which group do you belong to? Do you belong to? I see you, Andy the Great. Do you belong to group 1 or do you belong to group 2? Where do you belong? Because when we refuse to ask pertinent questions, then we have also become partakers in not allowing ourselves to fully become. The first primary purpose of being a human is to become, which is why you are a human being. At the end of being is to become. When you die without becoming, your being did not live to the fullest of its expression. Part of this becoming could be in marriage. Part of this becoming could become in career. It could be in your social life. It could be in any aspects in which you find expression. Hi, Martina, welcome in. So your first purpose of ever being alive is to become. To be a human being is to be in action. To not be in action is to be against your natural build, how you were designed. Which is why for every time you are alive, you are taking in new breath. You are taking in fresh air. Because you are becoming. Something new is always going inside of you. So guess what? What you must do as an individual is to make sure every day of your life is channeled towards becoming. You must have goals to exist as a human. Without goals, you are not living, you are existing. And the moment you stop living, it means you have become a happenstance. Anything can just happen. Well, it is what it is. Oh, because this thing happened, well, maybe that's how God wants it. No, your life must have a plan. Your life must have a plan, because the plan is going to actually subject how events unfold. Do you agree with me? When you have a plan, it foretells, it actually predicts how events happen. Thank you, Miss Olivia. If I say I want to wake up by 10 a.m. tomorrow, or if I fix a meeting for 10 a.m. tomorrow, and I wake up by 11, it means that my day is going to take a different route, because the schedule I have for 10 a.m. has already given me, oh, you did not begin your day very well. It means the plan I had from yesterday is already dictating my today. It means that my today is not happening by chance. It's actually an intentional practice. Are you guys following? So we are building the premise. So Understanding this is understanding that your mode of expression is very particular to your existing. Imagine all the years that I've been teaching. Imagine all the years that I've been talking. Imagine all the years that I've been having this form of online conversations. Imagine I never had any of them. It means that all these sides of me, where would it have gone? It means that I will be less of what I am right now. Even if I have other means of expression, but we will never have known that there would have been a Kong dynasty. We will never have known that there would have been a person who had a lot of ideas to talk about a lot of things. Are you guys following? Are you guys following? Are you guys following? So part of what makes you alive is your mode of your expressions. But your mode of expression is being hampered by what we are discussing today. Now, let us begin. Stagnant culture. What is a stagnant culture? A stagnant culture is one in which established ways of thinking, behaving, organizing, and relating are repeatedly reproduced even when circumstances have changed. Oh, did you guys get that? Did you guys get that? Should I repeat that? Did you guys get it? I'm sure some of you are already having flashbacks. I'm sure some of you are already like, you're already getting it like, okay, it's coming together. Listen, we said culture is the way of life of a group of people. But if we do not ask the valid question, you would think that you are in culture, but no, you are actually within the confines of stagnant culture. Guys, come on, let's smash the live goals. If you're just joining, drop a heart me, be a part of the team. If you are not yet subscribed, come on, why not go ahead and subscribe? Because today we are in another realm. Thank you for the gifts. So when we keep defining culture and we keep thinking that we're in culture, what we are failing to do is we are failing to realize that we are no more within the confines of culture, but we are now existing within the confines of stagnant culture. Now let us explain what stagnant culture is. You will see that when we were defining culture, we said culture is the way of life of a group of people. But within culture, there is something known as stagnant culture. It becomes one in which, remember, it becomes the culture in which an established way of thinking. It did not say a new way of thinking. It says an established way. This is how we marry. This is how we do things. This is how we live. This is how we eat. Those things have been established. Oh, where we come from, we must kneel down and greet the elders. Those things have been established. Oh, this is how we do birthday parties. This is how we do our burials. The organization, the way we organize, it has been established over, it could be centuries, it could be millennia, it could be decades, but they have been established, meaning that more than one person, a group, people in their thousands already have adopted this way of doing things. But guess what? And the way they relate also, these ways are just constantly being repeated. Even when the circumstances have changed. I will give you an example. When you hear modern women, modern men, you will think that the intelligence is in the fact that we can label modern women or modern men. You would think that, oh, because we now know people that are modern, because we now know people that, well, we can call this woman a modern woman, we can call that man a modern man. You would think that that's where you find the intelligence. No. Sometimes the intelligence is not in the labeling. Sometimes the intelligence is not in the labeling, but the foolishness is in the labeling. Sometimes the labels are an indication that this is something we are not used to. If you agree with me, drop a 7 in the chat. Sometimes the labeling points to what we do not want, something that challenges our fragile ego. Remember, when you say, do you know who I am? You are speaking to a reflection of what you have achieved. But there was somebody who achieved those things. So when you are saying, do you know who I am? You are trying to use something to actually cover who you really are. Because your achievement is not you. Your achievement is a function of what you are. So a lot of times the labeling is actually a postulation of our fears. It's a postulation of the things you are not used to. It's a postulation of what we are scared to admit. There's something my sister said to me when we're having a conversation, because my sister and I, we usually have moments where we sit down to discuss about things that we see. We discuss religion, politics, random times, nothing. There is no precursor. We just have these conversations. Do you know what she said to me? She said, let's think of it, bro. Do you know, if some of us were the parents of Jesus Christ, Jesus will never become Jesus. Do you guys agree? If some of you were the ones that gave birth to Jesus, you will tell him why, oh, who is telling you are supposed to save the people? You would advise him out of his journey. You would tell him, why are you too confident? Who do you think you are? My friend, keep quiet. When you check the history of the independent woman that created a lot of the weak men in the history of America, you will realize that some of those children would have been our redeemers today. Some of those children would have been the future revolutionaries. But it was not their fault, because their mothers were scared. Their fathers were scared, because the times in which they existed, circumstances had changed. The parents had witnessed certain things that the stagnant culture that they did not remember, or they failed to recognize, created new ways of thinking. So the established things that they saw within that culture that was supposed to be progressive, it now created new things that gave them new behaviors that they were not even aware of. I know some of you will remember the experiment of the monkeys that were put in a room, and they put a ladder and they put banana at the top. At first, all 10 monkeys tried to climb up to reach the banana, and next thing you see, they will spray them with water. Push, push, the monkeys will go down. They tried repeatedly for weeks. Every time they climbed that ladder, they always spray them with water. Now guess what? For every time, after these monkeys accepted their fate, that okay, it looks like this banana is not for us, let us leave this banana alone. Do you know what happened next? They started switching the monkeys. They removed one monkey, they introduced a new monkey. That new monkey tried to climb. Water splashed the monkey. The monkey now asked questions. Wait, why is nobody even trying to reach this banana? Maybe I'm not even supposed to eat this banana. They switched another monkey again. Guess what? They did that repeatedly to a point where they switched all of the 10 original monkeys that were in the room. But guess what? All the new monkeys that entered the room, even when a new monkey would try to climb, every of the other 9 monkeys will climb down on the monkey. Why? Because where we are coming from, the elders did not allow us to climb the ladder. But in not climbing the ladder, they told us something that we did not see, something that we did not experience. But yes, they just told us that if we climb this ladder, we will never get to the banana. Anytime we climb this ladder, there is something that will always get to us. Yes, Africa is in it. And sometimes it is not because we wanted to be in it, but because our experiences within a stagnant culture created new beliefs that right now, even the men and women are finding it difficult to even adjust. You see? So even when the monkeys are seeing that banana is good, why not we climb and try? But guess what? Our ancestors told us not to ever climb this ladder, because if we climb the ladder, there is something that will come up and it will come for you. that thing they are trying to let us use in real terms. They will now say the gods will strike you with a certain type of metal that looks like something we cannot describe, but it comes from above. In fact, to even make it worse, some will start worshiping the water that was used to spray them. Oh, it let us call the water ginger banja. They will start kneeling, all hail ginger banja, ginger banja. Guess what? They begin to pray for the next coming of ginger banja, but they never knew that that thing was a limiting belief. Yeah. Approve comment, Joe. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. And this is what we are about to teach today. So they begin to worship things that they were not even told. See, the problem is you who has gone through the experience. Are you explaining to your children for them to have gods? Or are you explaining to your children for them to continue with your belief systems? Which kind of parent are you? Which kind of uncle are you? What type of elder are you? Is your experience creating the pedagogy of life whereby you are creating new knowledge for people to stand up and be bold to do things? These are pertinent questions we must ask, because a lot of times, especially those in Africa or those of African heritage, there is a 99% chance you are coming out of a stagnant culture, one filled with a lot of things. But I will let you know the effects of a stagnant culture so that you can judge yourself. I will let you know the effects. Even if you are non-African, it could exist in other ways. You could have certain religious beliefs, things that you don't even understand, but you've been holding on to them. And we would even break this down. Let us continue. Now, guess what? The funny thing is, the ways this thing exists, they are not designed to exist in a certain pattern. They can exist in your family. They can exist in your workplace. Thank you. This is how it is done in this land. This is how we must do it. Women must kneel down. Men must go outside. Women must chop 3 eggs, 2 fowl fish, and two nylon bags. Men must swallow 2 elephants. This is how we know it to be. Sometimes it shows our lack of imagination. What makes you a human is what keeps you in your childlike state. That's why children are the purest forms of humans, because their imagination are unhinged. Nothing stops a child's imagination more than the parents training the child. Why do you think if it is raining, the child is trying to go under the rain to discover? Because the child's imagination is running free. What's that substance? But no, the child could have been a scientist that will discover something from the rain. But trust me, Zay will tell the child, go inside, it's raining. Rocky will say, go inside, go and get your umbrella. Miss Olivia will say, don't do that next time. Do you want to get cold? The child begins to take on certain beliefs that do not belong to them. Yes, we'll keep approving comments. I swear. But we'll continue. These beliefs, these stagnant cultures, it exists all around you. Sometimes I remember getting an inspiration that I wrote this on my status. I've even uploaded it on all my socials. I said, be careful of the perspectives you hold as ideology so that you don't become a prisoner to those perspectives. Remember, the ancestors don't miss. Don't you guys? Everything that happens, they are always linked. They are always linked. Do you understand? They are always linked. Be careful the things you hold on to as beliefs, perspectives, or ideology so that you don't become a prisoner. This stagnant culture exists in family, workplace, church, school, community, institutions, and even society at large. So you are not free. You must encounter. Some of you in your whole life, you've never challenged the norm before. The things we do here, what I do on my life, the kind of conversations I have, this life will let you understand that I have always fought against the stagnancy in cultures because my beliefs are not the norm. My submissions are not the norm. Andy will tell you. If Ty was here, Ty will tell you. Rocky will tell you. Miss Olivia will tell you. People who have been following me, they will tell you. Because at the end of the day, I do not want to think from the perspective in which I was told. I want to think from a perspective in which I must be able to think free. I must be able to actually break the barriers and find out what is behind the walls, what is over the fence, what can we see. There's a reason why you don't find black people doing certain things, jumping out from a plane, going skydiving, bungee jumping, jump inside the Mediterranean Sea. You wake up one day and decide to use a bike to fly from the sky. The reason you don't find blacks doing it is because as a race, the race has a limited belief, which is an effect of a stagnant culture that existed within a period in history. Remember what we said, these things exist within culture. Culture is not free of these things because culture is the makeup. Traditions exist within cultures. So the culture is there for the way of life, the way of living. It is not the way we lived. The mistake is in those definitions we don't think of our reality inside those definitions. So stagnation is not simply the traditions. It goes beyond that. Culture is the way of living of the group of people, of a group of people. So you guys can update your definition. Yes, you heard it here for the first time. Change that definition. Culture should not be the way of life of a group of people. It should be the way of living. The way we are living, so that it will always affect our current reality. What are we seeing currently and how can we adjust? Tradition can preserve wisdom while also allowing adaptation. Where we are thinking that we must actually conform, I keep saying it. Our ancestors were wise. People who have come before us were wise, but we are supposed to be the advanced form of what they were. But have you noticed, especially within the African community, when we quote certain things, we are trying to conform to the people who were before us, but they were only saying those things or they had a certain perspectives. But what you fail to realize is that those people were counting on you to be a better version. See, the universe be damned. My ancestors did not expect me to stay as a slave. So they fought so that I could thrive. They crawled so that I could run. But some of you, instead of running, you want to crawl. That's why you hear a man say, women should not be allowed. You hear a woman say, a man should. Because no, instead of you to think, you want to conform. Because we prefer the lazy way of doing things that we do not want to discover what is on the other side of the fence. Are you guys following? If you're following, drop a 7 in the chat. Thank you, Zay, for smashing the like. Come on, guys, let's smash the like. If you've not sent your heart, send your daily heart means. Let's continue. So, in as much as we believe in traditions are filled with wisdom, but the wisdom must give room for adaptation. Because that adaptation is what will help our children to also fix their problem. This is why I thank God for the kind of father that I have and the kind of elder brother that I have, even if he was not the best. You know why? My brother would tell me, never consider yourself an intelligent person if you cannot fix the problems in your immediate environment. He said this to me when I was less than a teenager, but it has not left me. More than 5 decades after, you people know that, we are all old. Now, are not you understand? But when he was making that statement to me, he thought he was scolding me. He thought he was actually trying to punish me. Oh, what makes you think you're intelligent? Oh, you think it's by passing exams? Thank you, Olama, for your hard me. But what he failed to realize is that he was actually setting me on a path Imagine how many things we say to children that has dangerously set them on a path that they cannot recover from. The reason why some men and women are struggling in their adult years is because of beliefs that they adopted even when they were unconsciously learning. One thing we say about children is children don't only learn when you are actively teaching. Children also learn when you are not teaching. How you are living, what you are doing, the things you are saying, it begins to shape their view of the world. I was watching a video about Trevor Noah, and some of you here, I'm sure you know Trevor Noah. He said something. He was reading a book, and the guy said, "Do you know everything you believe today is within the confines of the environment you were born? Everything you think you are holding true to, it's only happening within the choices that were made available to you growing up. Do you know that?" If some of you were born in America, you would have been gangsters, or you would have been very successful, or you would have been pilots, or you would have been those things that America actually, has in abundance, or is able to stretch the limits to achieve or become. But guess what? If you were born in Africa, some of the things that neo-colonialism is not letting you have in your childhood, you never experienced those things, so you don't think those things exist. I was watching a video last night that made me cry. I did not sleep the whole of last night. Thank you, Olama, for the gift. And I will tell you why I could not sleep. I was just scrolling through my feed, and I came across a music teacher. Oh my days, Lord in heaven. See, I have never seen a teacher teach something that the children became an embodiment of music. I kid you not, guys. See, it brought tears to my eyes, because do you know what it told me? Do you know how many African children would have been great drummers, great musicians, great bass guitarists, great clarinet players? But guess what? They will grow up not even having access to those things, because their environment has limited the way they think. They will grow up thinking, oh, is it that I become a medical doctor, I become a streamer, I be like Pella, or I be like this musician. They will not even understand the bandwidth that life has in store. This is why, see, even if in my growing up, we did not travel, but we saw the world through the lens of my dad. Which is why you that is a parent right now, please do all you can to not pass on your limiting beliefs to your children. If my mom was the only parent present in our lives, trust me, we would have had a very limiting belief. You know why? It was an active conversation between my parents that my dad always challenged my mom's views, because my mom's views were more limited and limiting because she was not the traveler. But my dad was the traveler. He was the one who would come back and say, I don't think we need to use this type of paints anymore. I was in Aberdeen. I was in, when I got to Dubai, when I was in the US, when I was in Qatar, when I was in the UAE, I noticed this type of design. So guess what? Now my mom will be like, what are you even saying? Please, 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 this is how we are going to do it. He goes, no, let's try this. And by the time we do it, the house is looking different. So guess what? My dad gave us the benefit of seeing the world through his lenses. And the method in which he was teaching actually added to that. He would say, don't listen to what I say. You must learn how to think and have a perspective, so that even if I'm not present, you will know what I'm capable of doing. Are you following, guys? If you are following, please drop a 7 in the chat. Are you following? So what we understand is stagnation is there to preserve those patterns. Which is why, for you to just be intelligent, you just need to recognize those patterns. You will see how people behave. I can predict the typical Nigerian man. Not because I'm so intelligent, no, but because I see the patterns built inside stagnation. Because I was trained not to follow those patterns, so I understand the patterns. I see the patterns. I identify the patterns. I know how a Nigerian woman thinks. I know how a Nigerian man thinks. I know how women think generally. I know how men think generally. Because guess what? I cannot study your future, but I can study your past. If I can predict you, it means that more or less, you are living more of your life within patterns that already existed before you. It is neither a good thing or a bad thing, but you must ask yourself salient questions. Am I actually living towards becoming? Because for you to be a human being, you must be an action Let's put it like this. You must be an actionable object, an object willing to take action. Have you heard the word, the day you stop living, you start dying? That's what it means, because it is not a proverb. It is your reality. You are not designed to be fixed at a spot. Let me tell you, destiny can change your location. How many of you agree? See, I kid you not. Destiny can change just by simply changing location. The moment you switch location, your whole life can change for the better or for the worse. So if destiny can switch location, if location can switch destinies, guess what? It is your ability to switch the location, which is action, that can make that possible, which is tied to why you are a human being. An action word or a verb is an action word or a doing word. ING is how we characterize a verb. Human being, BEING. These things are there for you to see. It is not, don't take my words for it. Follow the perspective. Let us continue. The effect of a stagnant culture can be profound because culture doesn't merely influence what people do. It influences what they believe is normal, is possible, is acceptable, or even imaginable. You see how powerful that statement is? Come on, guys, let's tap on your screen and please smash the life goals in activity. Let's go. Listen, the effect of stagnant culture, I want you to see how terrible it is. It can be so profound because culture that you are a part of, it does not merely influence what people do. Thank you for joining the team. It actually also influences what they believe. They believe basketball is normal. They believe if you insult me, I insult you back. They believe aura for aura, egusi for egusi. Some of you that say this aura for aura, you don't even know why you are standing by that thing. If you do me, I do you. If you slap me, I slap you back. If you slap me, I turn the other cheek. You don't even know why you are living like that, but you have adopted it. Thank you for joining the team. Thank you for the gift. Guess what? It says, this is the power of culture. I'm a traditional man. I'm a this, I'm a that. You don't even know why you are that. Because guess what? The day you were born, those things were slapped onto you. Those things are not you. You are only a witness to those things you are practicing. Oh, am I talking to somebody here tonight? Am I talking? See, when you come to this life, I give you the deep things. When you were born as a clean slate. You didn't even know what race was. You didn't even know what a human being is. You didn't even know that there is boy or there is girl. Even your name was slapped onto you. Who told you are Olama? Who told you are blessing? Somebody labeled your being, and that label is what you are going to. Do you know how crazy it is that I answer that I'm a Nigerian? I'm a product of somebody's conditioning. Somebody stayed with their side chick. Oh, honey, I'll not talk to you again. Honey, you don't love me. You don't love me. You only love your wife. Oh, I love you, honey. What's the problem? No, if you love me, you're gonna do my wish. Tell me, honey, what's your wish? I want you to name those people that you call nigga area. Call them Nigeria. Is that all? Trust me, honey, I'll do it for you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna change the name from nigger area to Nigeria. It is deciding my future. Somebody's extramarital affair has decided the identity of over close to 1 billion people. This is how strong culture can influence. This is how strong a limiting belief can influence. Oh, honey, thank you. Oh, I appreciate it. Now you love me. I'm gonna give you ta-ta-ta. You did it for me. Oh, I love you. Do you know when these people died? Do you know when these people died? They are long gone, but I'm still answering being a Nigerian. It is that mad, isn't it? Do you know when they died? Oh, honey, you love me now. You want ta-ta-ta. We're going to do it in the balcony because he changed the name. Oh, honey. Oh, peekaboo. Oh, you like the name? I think I like the ring to it, honey. I like the ring to it. You know, then they used to have this baby like this. I like the Nigeria. Oh, you're such an intelligent girl. Oh, come here, baby girl. Oh, yeah. You don't usually trust me. That's why you didn't know I could give a better name. Boom. Just like that. Generations are affected. People yet unborn are going to answer being Nigerian, not because it is their destiny, but simply because people are designed, people are already in place to make sure you become a participant within the stagnant culture. Now let us begin. Number one effect of stagnant culture, it limits the people's imagination. I see that every day on social media. The men, the women, terrible as human beings. The bottom of the barrel. They don't even think properly, but they have an opinion. Oh yes, men don't deserve this. Women don't deserve this. The worst part is they think because they have an audience that they are thinking for themselves. There is even a study that shows that people no longer have independent thoughts anymore. They regurgitate what they have heard somewhere, either from social media, from somebody, or people that they adore. Real human donkeys. They say one of the first effects is a shrinking sense of possibility. You don't even know what can become. Let me tell you, my view of women is tied strongly to my mom. Any man you want to be with, his view of women would majorly come from who his mom is. See, let me tell you, this thing you are calling feminism, the era when my mom met my dad, they would have called her a feminist. You know why? She was wearing shorts and trousers in a village where people were still tying wrapper on their chest. My mom was already a sports person in a village where they thought, why would a woman be doing sports? You don't understand. Let me tell you. In a village where people were still tying thread on their head, my mom was doing makeup. They will say, oh, what is that one having on her face? She's a masquerade. You don't understand. So the reason why feminism is not looking uncomfortable for me is that I was born by a woman who actually went against the norm because she understood. When I had this conversation with my sister, we had to break it down to understand what she was facing. Living in a world where people had limiting beliefs, their imagination could not accept that a woman could be an employer of labor. A woman could actually, go out there and represent a full state. They could not fathom the fact that why would a woman just stay and be doing things that women don't do? So guess what? They could not even fathom who she was. She was too big for that reality. She was ahead of her time. Do you know? She was never allowed to enjoy her life even till her passing. If my mom existed in today's time, feminists would think that my mom was part of one of the founding fathers of feminism or founding mothers of feminism. Because guess what? Even in the house, my father gave me the definition of how a man should be to a woman. Remember, to those of you who have been following me, I say things like this. Masculinity in a man around a woman you call your wife is like protecting a garden to make sure that the flower within the garden blossoms freely. That was the definition of my father to my mother. Whatever my mother wanted, my father made sure it was possible. When she said she wanted another degree, my father made sure she was able to get it. When she said I want to open this type of business selling material, my father made sure it happened. When it did not go where she said I want to go into fashion designing, my father made sure. Or when she said, oh, I don't think that I want to do only that one, I want to also do the one to employ and empower women, my father made sure it happened. Do you understand what I'm saying? So a man's view of life, especially towards women, is first born out of his views towards his mom. So when I see a woman working hard, it is not new to me. In fact, it is actually more like PTSD format because I've been here before. I've seen this before. So the more she's working hard, I've been in that reality. Do you know why some men cannot actually accept your reality as a woman? Because they don't come from a home where their mothers were trailblazers. So guess what? It is not their fault. They are an active candidate of a stagnant beliefs. So people begin to think this is just how things are. We've always done it this way. This is why I'm very careful whenever I make those kind of statements, because I always put the question marks at the end of those thoughts, because I want to be able to pin those thoughts and nip it in the bud when they begin to limit my existence. I am the upgrade. I'm the today of my father. My children are my tomorrow. So I cannot be less of who my father was. My children can never be less of who I am. So guess what? In as much as this is how my father did it, I must be able to spot that my father did it according to his intelligence. So if I happen to become more intelligent, I'm supposed to have a better way. Are you guys following? Oh, people like us don't do that. We are Nigerians. We don't know how to behave proper. Oh, where we come from, we are Americans. We don't obey the laws. Where we come from, we are Chinese. We don't bow to. Come on, fam. Limiting beliefs. There's no point trying to change it because it's just like that. Oh, don't try to walk because it's just like that. Oh, as a woman, don't even try to want to dream in my home because you have to listen to me as the head of house. Limited beliefs. And guess what? A lot of times your ego plays a trick on you. Some of your limiting beliefs become very acceptable because it protects your ego. It protects the you in I. It protects that thing you use to shield what you are. I'm coming out. Guys, I want to, let me unmute these comments. In fact, filtered comments. We will do it ourselves. Don't filter any comment again. You are stressing me. Let's continue. Yeah. Your elders are wiser. Statements that are true and also false. Do you guys agree? You see this one? A very typical example. Your elders are wiser. It is both the truth and it is also a lie. Guys, if you have not sent your heart me, please send your daily heart me. If you've not followed, please follow the host. Please, all you 33,000 beautiful people and my 17,000 beautiful people on the FYP, why not come in, smash the live goals? Come on. Yeah. You all are too much of VIPs to leave live goals hanging. But let us continue. You all should make me proud. Don't allow your limiting beliefs. I don't have to smash the live goal. I can still just be here and be listening. That's a limiting belief. Break that chain. Oh, why should I be sending lion? It's too expensive. Be the first in your lineage to send lion in your family. Send it. Yes. Break that belief. Why can it not be you to send lion on Kong's live? Oh, let me leave the level 25s and above. Who says you cannot send lion? Go and find the lion. Send the lion. And let it not look like I'm showing off. Show off. Break that limiting belief. Why will I be the one? I don't want to come here. Let it not look like I'm showing myself. So let me not smash the live goal so that people will not think that, okay, I like Kong. My friend, break that limiting belief. Let me stay low key so that they will not think that, pardon my French, fuck them. You see, limiting beliefs. He thinks the lion is only when he sends an emoji. Come, Ebony, break that limiting belief. Send a roaring lion. Thanks for the gift. Let us continue. Yes, break that limiting beliefs. Who says you cannot do it? Who says you cannot send a lion in your lineage? Who says in your lineage you cannot send a lion? Blessing podcast. Who says that if you send a lion, your account will go down? Try. Go and send a lion. You will see how you will feel tonight. Let us continue. Eventually, people stop asking whether something could be different. Remember what we said? It limits people's imagination. Gradually, they stop thinking what is possible. They start following the set ways. This is particularly damaging because imagination usually precedes transformation. Oh, Lord have mercy. Do you understand? Do you understand? For there to be transformation, there must be imagination. Have you seen why Nigeria is the way it is? Have you seen why Africa is the way it is? Have you seen why the continent is the way it is? Do you now understand why America is the way it is? See, you don't understand. You don't understand. You can ask Rocky. a trip. I was just observing. I think I've also told Olivia the same thing too. I was just observing the white people and the black people. I swear you can see their beliefs from their behavior. How many of you agrees? When you look at black people, you look at white people, you can see their beliefs from their behaviors. How many of you agrees? If you've ever done it before, if you've ever stayed and just looked at, you've just stayed and you've been observing a group of blacks and a group of white. If you've never done it, go and do it. Just find where black people are gathered. Don't say anything. Sit in silence. Just watch. Just sit and watch. Sit and watch white people. Sit and watch black people. You will realize that the black people lack imagination. It is not whether this is not about being an insult. It shows. You will see how confidently white people walk. Even in your country, a white person walks like a king. You don't understand. Even in your country in Africa, a white person walks so confidently. You know why? There is imagination in their childhood. But in your childhood, you have been made to have certain beliefs. But in the childhood of the white man, he is made to believe that the world is his. There's a reason why the black man might never come out of his bondage if he does not adopt imagination in his offsprings. If your children cannot imagine, they can never be leaders, because imagination precedes transformation. For transformation to happen, there must be vision carriers. If there are no vision carriers, the people must suffer. It is a must. You must suffer. Where there are no vision carriers, you can never find development. A man stayed and said, we deserve electricity. Thank you for the gift. A man stayed and said, there is something that we can do to better our lives. A man stayed and said, if the sun is up, we need something to stay cool. Imagination precedes transformation. This is what is missing in a lot of us. Oh, this is how marriage must be. I was on a live and I was teaching and I said, part of the problems you are having with 50-50 is that you are thinking that, oh, for us to talk about 50-50, it must be, or gender roles. For gender roles to be a thing, men must do certain type of things. Women, no, you are not caused. You are designed to be within a certain set of patterns that it is actively a proponent of what we call a stagnant culture. See, curses are not spiritual. Curses are an active, repetitive pattern that limits you. Some things are not, we don't need to explain some things with spiritual concepts so that you need to understand. For a curse to stay active, it means that certain pattern must stay repeated. In my family, nobody has bought a car. When you have that kind of mentality, it's because nobody is agreeing to go to a car lot and buy a car. Are you following what I'm saying? In my house, in my family, nobody has built a house. Nobody will build a house if nobody agrees to go and buy a piece of land. If you fail to break the generational patterns, then you remain in the generational curse. Not because somebody is so powerful, but because everybody lacks the imagination to break out of the norm. Are you following right now? So some of the things they have told us as Africans are the things that are taking away our imagination so that we can stay consistently constant within those repeated patterns. Hence why you now see Africa the way it is. I'm not joking, fam. Go and watch a group of black people and watch a group of white people. There's a lot to learn. I was at a vacation spot when a white kid walked up to me. Guess the funny thing, even the parents, they stopped to observe the conversation. This boy wasn't talking to me as a child. He was talking to me as somebody who owned the world. And guess what? The conversation was a candid one that it looked like I was mentoring a son. It was never weird. Through that boy, the parents wanted to even now have a conversation with me. And we became a community in that vacation spot. We started having a conversation. It even led to a debate. And what was the debate? The white husband says it is okay that he who is not, he's not educated, but he's a professional plumber. His wife is a teacher. So the argument was that teachers deserve to be the highest earners in the work in the field of the blue collar jobs or in the working sector. Teachers are supposed to be paid the highest. So he's of the opinion that no, skills should follow payment. If your skill is needed, then you should be paid the most. And I gave my own opinion and I said, but your skills were taught to you by a teacher. Is the skill what is important or the person who taught the skill? So you understand this conversation only happened because of a child who had imagination, who walked up to somebody to have a conversation. I like your hair. Oh, this. He was asking questions. So understand one thing. You are not cursed because there was somebody spiritual in your lineage. You are cursed because you have refused to actually break out of the norm. Sometimes all you need to do is to sit down and observe a pattern. There are certain behaviors of my dad that I chose to break. I chose to actually go out of. I didn't need to pray my way out of it. I began to tell myself. So when some of you ask me certain things and I say, I don't do certain things or I don't behave certain way, those things were not given to me. Those things were things I put in place because I needed to break out of certain behavioral norms. Are you guys following? Exactly. Generational traumas will make you believe that you are protecting yourself. There's a reason why we don't swim. Go and see these kids, the way they jump inside the ocean. I did not say a swimming pool. These white kids were jumping inside an open sea. I was there thinking of my life. Why? Because somebody had passed the belief down that water killed. So if you jump inside the water, you might lose your life. So instead of me to enjoy the water, I'm busy thinking of my life. What's the reason for Africa as a continent to be so underdeveloped in every way? Simple. Stagnant culture. That is why colonization is one of the worst crimes to humanity. Colonization is one of the worst crimes. In fact, I think it's the worst crime in humanity. You know why? Even more than 20 generations after, people are still paying the price of colonization. You don't understand. We were not part of the people that were enslaved, but we are still suffering from the trauma of those that were enslaved more than 1,000 years ago. Do you know what that means, Olama? So our underdevelopment is not happening because we don't like development. It's literally happening because we have a lot of trauma to deal with. Until we begin to raise children that are bold enough, that have enough courage and guts to break out of the norm and allow them to fly. You don't understand. In a time where people were saying, I want to be medical doctors, my sister said, I want to study theater arts. My mom was shouting, God forbid. My dad was saying, so which school should you, what's your preferred school to learn how to be an actress? My mom was busy shouting, God forbid, not my daughter, God forbid, not my, because she had the limiting belief. No, it's all, see, it's not even in the disagreement or the agreement. It's in the fact that the patterns are there. You would think that because you can think for yourself, then that means that everybody can. No, there is the average behavior. Generational traumas. Let me explain it to you, Olama. Let me explain it to you. So, science is beginning to accept that not necessarily that we are born an empty slate. Science is beginning to understand that DNA plays so much of an important role than just features. Why would we have two babies? One is scared of clowns and the other is not scared of clowns. Olama, can you answer that question? Have you ever wondered, why do we have two babies? They don't even know what a clown is. Or they don't even know what a snake is. But one baby is scared of snakes. One baby. See, so it's just like saying that China was colonized is that the China experienced the degree of colonization. Africans fought slavery in different waves. They fought slavery from the Asians. They fought slavery from the Arabs. They fought slavery from the Americans. They fought slavery from the Europeans. You don't understand. Africa was a ground that people were fighting for. So when you say China was colonized, were they colonized to the degree of Africa? Because guess what? For them to have their revolution, it means that they still had a little bit of consciousness to fight back. But Africans, we got to the part where we were fighting to uphold the values of the colonizers. We still have people in recent times. Just imagine in today China, somebody is saying we must behave like Nigerians. It can't even happen. Imagine in today America, somebody is saying, oh, my birth mother is from Kenya. So Americans, we are changing the constitution of America to Kenya's constitution. It can't even happen. I see you, sweet pie. So you understand. So when we say certain things, we must follow the perspective though. So they say they were also colonized. It's half truth. We now need to ask the extent, the degree, the impact, to what end? Now let's continue. Remember, we said number one, it limits people's imagination. Number two, it produces limiting beliefs. I hope you are writing it down because, like I said, this class today is a very major one, and we might have part one, part two, part three, part four. So get ready. Maybe because of this live, we might have another day where we go live. We might launch our Friday lives with this topic, but I do not know yet, based on how the ancestors lead. But let us continue. Number two, the effects of a stagnant culture. It produces limiting beliefs. A stagnant culture can become a factor for limiting beliefs. For example, a culture that repeatedly discourages risk may teach, don't try something unless you are certain it will work. I'm a victim of this. I'm such a perfectionist in my head because of what I have witnessed. So in my head, I want to be sure that it has worked. I want to see every parameter. I want to troubleshoot before I even take the first step. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying. Limiting beliefs. I think that was 2024 or 2023. I don't know if Rocky is still here. I just woke up one day. I'm like, no, like I must break this. Like I just went on my birthday. I went to Ghana. Two or 3 days, and I came back. Like for no reason. I'm like, there's just got to be that I'm able to do it. What's the fear? I did not do it because I wanted to go on a vacation. I did it because I was carrying the fear of, can I do it by myself? And I just went to Ghana. I felt, can I travel long distance by myself? But you have been traveling. So I decided, you know what? Before these beliefs take a hold of me, let me take a hold of it. Number two is another example. A culture that punishes mistakes may teach failure is shameful. Are you seeing where Africans exist? You don't understand. Flogging children is a slave attribute. That is why in the Western forms of education, they do not flog kids. You can scold the kid. You can point the kid in the right direction. You can counsel a child. But Africans still believe in flogging. Because guess what? Their ancestors were flogged. Their ancestors were told to flog. That flogging is what makes you learn. And they have held on to that limited beliefs. So now, when we fail, it says, a culture that punishes mistakes may teach that failure is shameful. Why do you think that the Western kids are not scared to want to reinvent themselves? Because they have been trained to want to take risk. They go bungee jumping. They trust that it will hold. But yes, I want to hold on to that limiting belief. But I know I might do that bungee jumping someday. Tomorrow is your sign out. Oh, congratulations. That's great. Another example. A highly hierarchical culture may teach that people at the top know better than everyone else. Remember your example, Zay. Guys, if you're just joining, please send a heart me and let's smash the life goals. Come on. If you are gaining value, break those limiting beliefs and show walking. Prove to yourself that you can show walking. So a culture that is tied to hierarchical structures and beliefs may teach that people at the top know better than everyone else. Africa. You see that this subject opens you up. Everybody, please find this book, The West and the Rest of Us. Find that book and read. I think by Chinwe or so. The West and the Rest of Us. If you can read the book, read it. You will see some certain things within that book. Another example, a culture that values conformity may teach that standing out is dangerous. You see what we do to our women. Nigerian men, stand up. Come on, stand up. Not in Nigeria. Come on, stand up. All of you Nigerian traditional men. Our women cannot stand with other women in the world. African women, they are the least of women in the world. I'm not saying that you will not find one or two trailblazers, but they are not where they are out of chance. They are where they because the culture in Africa teaches conformity for the women. So even when the women could be so much more, we would never know because we believe in conformity. You understand? So another example, a scarcity-oriented culture may teach that there isn't enough opportunity for everyone. The stealing behavior. You grew up poor, so now you have access to steal. You steal more than you need. You grew up poor. You don't know how to train children. I have to give them everything they want because I did not have it while growing up. A limiting culture. Yeah, good evening to you. If you're just joining, if this is your first time on this live, what we're talking about is stagnant culture and its damning effect. The damning effect of a stagnant culture. So if you are just joining, you're welcome in. My name is Kong Dynasty. I'm just here to open your eyes. Yes, it might not be your conventional type of life, but why not sit down and have fun? We critique ourselves here. We think freely. We ask pertinent questions, and we answer salient. We answer pertinent questions with salient points so that you can learn from it. Perspective is what you should understand, not regurgitating the things that I say. So let us continue, guys. We're still at 16k likes. Come on, let's take the live to 30k. Over time, these cultural assumptions become individual beliefs. Oh, thank you. I think for the first time, I am going to download this live and I will upload it on my YouTube. So guys, if you are not in the Telegram channel, go and join the Telegram channel because I'm going to actually drop my YouTube handle where you can rewatch all my lives from henceforth. So please just do well to join the Telegram. If you don't know where to find the Telegram, link in my bio. Click on the link in my bio to take you to the Telegram. If it does not redirect you, copy the link and paste it on your browser. It will take you to the Telegram. So let us continue. Over time, these cultural assumptions become individual beliefs. The person may eventually experience them as personal truths rather than cultural conditioning. You begin to see things that makes you think that then that means this must be true. Not because it is true, but because those things appeal to your emotions and to your personal reality. You will all of a sudden think that that's how life works. You now hear people say, I'm a realist. No, you are not a realist. You are looking at the world from the lenses of what you have encountered or experienced. You understand? So sometimes this is a mistake you make. You are only regurgitating the things that have been conditioned into you from stagnant cultures and limiting beliefs. Number 3, it discourages critical thinking. Do you all agree? If you agree, drop a 7 in the chat. We all see this in our everyday life. It discourages critical thinking. Sometimes people think that when they give me the lazy way of saying things, I will just accept it. Do you know? People now feel so shocked when they say things that are supposedly basic and true. I bash them for it. I tell them, no, that's a lazy way to think. If you think you can just say that basic thing, if we allow women to walk, they might become disrespectful. And you now think that because that may be true, that's where we can stop our thoughts. No, that's a lazy way to think. That right there is an effect of lack of critical thinking. You are so basic in how you reason that your lazy way of thinking is beginning to shape how you see life. A healthy culture allows people to ask valid questions. Why do we do this? If you cannot ask real questions and find real answers, I am not saying it is now a valid reason for you to go wayward or become promiscuous. What I'm saying to you is this. For every time you ask these valid questions, make sure you find valid answers. It is not because you have not found answer, that means I will do whatever I want. Why do I need to keep myself? So because you've not found an answer that appeals to you does not mean you should sleep around. You understand? So we must learn how to balance these things. A stagnant culture would often always respond to that statement because that's how it's always been done. And I keep saying it, this also happens with religion. The reason why some of you are not Christians or some of you are not strong Christians, it's not because you cannot be strong Christians, but it's because of the kind of teachers you met, because of the kind of people who introduced you to those religious concepts. They did not give you serious explanation or explanations that are valid enough to actually pique your interest. They said things like, well, that's just how it is. That's how it's been done. That's how we know it to be. You cannot come and change it. Come on, guys, we're not tapping on our screen. Let's tap. So a stagnant culture will respond to the question, but why do we do this, daddy? My friend, don't ask questions. That's how it's always been done. You should ask yourself real questions. How do you intend to raise children when you don't have enough answers? You can go back to 4 years of my teaching where I would say the quality of marriage is tied to the quality of information that both parties hold within that marriage. You cannot always have intelligent children when both parents lack quality information. Are we going to have exceptions where the children are just exceptionally blessed? Yes, but we can always prepare for what we want when we do the right things. Let us continue. The difference is enormous between that response and the question. So when questioning, it becomes a statement when this type of questioning established practice is interpreted as disrespectful. For you to ask these questions, that means you don't have respect. That means you are not loyal to where we come from. Or in Igbo land, for you to not do this thing, that means you no longer respect our culture. They target arrogance. Why are you not greeting everybody you see? Why are you not lying down to greet everybody that comes your way? For you not to do that, you are definitely not a wife material. You are not a husband material. They target arrogance. They target rebellion. Yes, I have friends who do these things that sometimes, even when I live lives, I go back to think for myself, like, is this actual rebellion or it is just our thoughts talking? They call it ignorance. Oh, for you to just want to get into a career, you are ignorant of what the culture says. No, it is the limiting belief. It's the stagnant culture that pushes that. Honor your father and mother and you would live long. So we feel guilty not following their religion. Yeah, because we don't ask questions. Honor your father and mother. That same book also speaks to how you should not provoke your children and how you should be a parent who can model and mold your kids. So you see that these things must be tied to valid, salient, or valid foundations that we can build upon. Success can only be a thing that is part of you when we can find repeating patterns that make sense to our existence. If we cannot find things that we did that got us certain levels of success, we cannot say we are successful because we stumbled on certain things that are working, but we must know what we did to arrive there. People now learn to suppress their questions because guess what? Eventually, obedience becomes more important than understanding. It's been a long time I said, I prefer to marry a woman who understands me than a woman who loves me. The ancestors don't miss. These things they've all been there. You just need to seek for them. Obedience becomes more valuable than understanding because for you to ask questions, you are upsetting the norm. So guess what? They flog you into obedience so that you can do what other people are doing. Your uniqueness begins to get questioned. You now think about falling in line. People may know the rules very well while no longer knowing why the rules exist. Remember the experiment of the 10 monkeys. You just know that we are not supposed to climb this ladder to take that banana. But you don't even know why we are not supposed to do that. You just know that we are not supposed to do it. These are very important things. Number 4, it suppresses innovation. Africa, case study. Are you guys seeing what's going on here? Africa, case study. It suppresses innovation. Innovation requires experimentation. We must try things that will work or things that will not work. From the things that don't work, we now know what not to try. This is the beauty of living free. This is the beauty of imagination. Is that we are not only doing things within our comfort zone, we are also trying to try. We are also trying to see what is behind the silver lining. What is there? Everything I'm telling you, you can see that when you go to the West, these things are present. When you come to Africa, they are absent. Hence why you see the way they develop. It's simple. Experimentation requires permission to try something that might not work. So failing is part of the process. But when you begin to feel like for you to feel your life is finished, success becomes a variable. It's no longer a constant because you are not used to doing the things that success requires. Yeah, a lot of you are still struggling with this, that I know of. You are still struggling with failing. Oh, what if I marry now and the marriage does not work? Oh, what if I'm not good at raising children? What if I'm not good at the business? You are already bothered about the failure, forgetting that failure is the recipe for success. A stagnant culture tends to punish the second condition. Someone proposes, what if we tried this? The response of that stagnant culture becomes, we've never done that before. You see how it becomes limiting. What if we do something new? What if I allow my wife to become an astronaut? What if I allow my wife to run a business? What if my wife is able to actually do something she has not, or no wife has been used to doing? Oh, we've never done that before. Don't allow your wife. Your wife wants to go to PhD levels. Why would you allow it? You've not tried it. You just know that we don't allow women to study to PhD levels. So you are upholding it without even knowing why. Or they say, you say something like, or you find a response like, that will not work here. That's not how we operate. Where we come from, women are supposed to be in the kitchen. Where we come from, men are supposed to be the one that will go outside and make money. See, you don't understand. I've always asked the African woman, did they swear for you not to be successful in your life? That you automatically already think that your husband must be the richer person. Oh, you can never be the one who is financially buoyant enough. It is a man's duty to provide. Did they tell you that provision is abhorrent or is absent from your DNA? Oh, you have already accepted the limiting belief that you cannot provide because you are outsourcing what is normal to another person because it is tied to your limiting beliefs. It is tied to the stagnant culture that raised you. Oh, if you say a woman should provide, that means you are trying to run away from responsibility. Even the stagnant culture has taught you how to respond to things that want to improve you, things that wants to make you better. The stagnant culture has given you befitting responses to refuse change. Everybody keeps quoting change is the only constant thing, but not when the change challenges their stagnant way of reasoning. After enough of these experiences, people stop proposing new ideas. They just relax. This creates an interesting phenomenon. The culture may complain that nobody is innovative, while simultaneously punishing the behaviors required for innovation. Oh, Olodo uprising. Everybody is just doing things that don't make sense, but you will criticize Kong for talking long. You are simultaneously punishing people who are trying to educate. You don't send lion to people who try to educate, but then you are complaining that there are no intelligent people. You are complaining that women are no longer wise, men are no longer wise, men are no longer men, women are no longer women. But guess what? You will criticize those who are trying to educate, those who are trying to do things to uplift, those who are trying to innovate, to reinvent themselves. You are standing as a stumbling block. You are standing as a principality to make sure that they don't get there, but then you will come back and complain that nobody's innovative. If you are following, please drop a 7 in the chat. If you understood everything we said to this point, drop a 7 in the chat. If you have any question, drop your question. If there are no questions, drop a 77. So all I want to see in the chat, if you understand and you have no question, drop a 7 or 77. But if you have any question, just drop your questions. We'll take your question. If not, keep it moving. I love the energy. I love the fact that we're all understanding. But you people are not proving to me that you want to break the norm, because the life gifts have still not been smashed. You have still not smashed the life gifts. So it means that you people still have limiting beliefs that you cannot smash it. Who says you people can? 28,000 of you. Who says you cannot smash the life goals? So don't let your limiting beliefs think you want to finish another life without smashing it. So you must break out of the norm. So you've been listening, Fisibe. Welcome in. So prove to me that you will not allow yourself go out from this life without smashing the life goals. You are going to send a gift you've not sent before. Oh, why is Kong trying to condition me? It is still your conditioning that is fighting this new conditioning that helps you break a belief. You might not be able to become the successful person that you want to be, but it starts from you trying something that that you've not done before, which is listening to what I'm saying right now. Are you following? Tap on your screen. Make sure we don't finish this life without smashing the life goals, because you cannot be learning and not be putting it into effect. I'm here for you. Number 5, it creates the fear of failure. This is one of the things that used to set me back. I was always scared of failing. I was always having the fear of failing. What if I am not enough? One of the person I'm most grateful for is Rocky. At the time, she realized that this thing was actively part of my thoughts. She did not tell me that the way of my thinking was wrong, but she was always reminding me, remember to think of the solution first before you think of the failure. So guess what? It helped in rewiring my worries and my complaint. So my worries moved from being scared of what I want to do. I start thinking of what I have to do, what I want to do. Are you seeing what I'm saying? How a certain conversation can actually change your trajectory. How the people you interact with. Remember, you are the average of the top 5 people you talk with every day. You are the average of the top 5 people you always talk to. So go and check. Who are the top 5 people you are always in contact with? You are the average of that 5. Sometimes the conversations you have had with your best friend is the reason why you have not gotten to where you want to get to. Sometimes your best friend is telling you, why are you having to dress so pretty? Who is telling you you are fine? Who is telling you you are intelligent? See, you don't understand. I remember telling some friends of mine this year that I no longer want to be in conversations where you claim to want to be around me and you are anti anything that I'm doing. Oh, no, come. You cannot be this way because you have to tone down. You cannot be my friend anymore. You don't understand. I was true to standing up for that because I realized that those things created an invisible boundary. It created the fears in my head that I did not know where it was coming from. So sometimes your problem, your limiting beliefs might be created by the people you are listening to, the voices in your head, your family members. You don't understand. In my family, I'm the risk taker because I listen the least to my family members. So guess what? Whenever I'm in a conversation with them, it looks like I am 5 years ahead of where I'm supposed to be. Because every time they come around me, they realize I'm onto something different. I am the most visible person in my family because I decided not to follow the norm. When I'm having a conversation with my sister, I told her, I said, enough of trying to believe you want to play it safe. There is a lot out there for the taking. I'm the only person trying to make sure that I outdo my father by actively trying out things at an age where they did not dream of trying it. You don't understand. Do you know what it means in an African home to be the last born, yet you are challenging the norms that elders before you were holding on to? Thank you, gift. They never understand. They used to think, my brother used to tell me something. Why do you keep thinking, oh, international? Who is telling you that you cannot be in Nigeria and do what you want to do? But little did he know that I was not designed for just Nigeria alone. On this life, I have people in the UK, people in New Zealand, people in America, people in different parts of the world. My message is still cutting across because from time immemorial, I knew that my boundaries, my location could not contain what I am. In stagnant environment, mistakes may be interpreted as evidence of incompetence or irresponsibility rather than opportunities for learning. You don't understand. The fact that you did not see it coming is a way for you to know what not to do next time. At a certain age, I did something and I called my brother and I said, I want you to come and be a part of what I am doing. Because of the amount that thing was paying me, his mind could not believe that I was actually functioning in that thing. So he never joined me. And when that thing failed, guess what? You would think that you not making it in life is the hardest thing. No. Go and ask people that have done businesses and the businesses failed and they came back to try again. Go and ask them. But guess what? It is harder to try again, but you now are trying from experience. You are not starting all over again. You are starting from experience. You are better than the person who has never tried. So instead of you to see mistakes as incompetence, you must see mistakes as opportunities for learning. I remember something, a group I joined, I was a part of in 2019-ish. There is something I learned from a guy called D.L. Woods. He will say, there are no losses, there are only lessons. Oh my days. He's the one that taught me, I see you from the top. I see you at the top, not from the top, because the bottom is way too crowded. Believing that you can is way more profitable than believing that you can't. You don't understand. It is all a mindset shift. There are no losses, only lessons. When you stop seeing your life that because your marriage did not work, it means that you have lost. No, you have not lost. There is a lesson. My view on divorce changed some days ago, and I will tell you what changed my views on divorce. Do we judge a person's life that they failed because they died? Are we going to say because a man died, he was not successful? We are going to say he was successful. These are the things he did while he lived. So guess what? Why do we judge a marriage as a failure because divorce happened? The end of a marriage is not the definition of the marriage. We can define the marriage to the time it existed. Thank you, preacher man. My views on divorce changed just some days ago. So guess what? That you failed in a marriage does not mean you are a failure. That your marriage ended does not define what the marriage was. The marriage was what it was while it existed. The end only means that there is room for the beginning of another thing. But you see, your limiting beliefs have told you that because your marriage did not work, it means you are not a good wife. It means you are not a good husband. Hence, you begin to undermine yourself. You begin to allow yourself to exist in spaces that do not serve you because you don't understand your worth. All because of the stagnant culture that you are actively being a part of. Let us continue. People therefore begin optimizing for not being blamed rather than finding the best solution. You want to date safely. You are trying to find the bottom barrel men because you know that these ones are the easy target. I cannot wish for a man like Kong Dynasty because I'm a single mother. I cannot wish for a woman like Rocky or Miss Olivia because I'm a single father. Oh, because I'm Nigerian, I cannot date the best of American women. Because I'm American, I cannot date the best of what the world brings. Oh, because I'm a black-skinned person. No. Those are limiting beliefs because guess what? You have created the fear of failure. So you don't want to exist in spaces where you be judged by competence. You want to exist in spaces where you will say, but at least I tried. No, trying does not mean you have gotten the job done. Trying simply means that you are yet to get the job done. So you must put in the work to finding the best solution. Because everywhere you have existed is a learning curve. Remember, there are no losses, there are only lessons. Let us continue. What this can create, it can create excessive caution. You would even notice this in parents. They begin to become overly protective over their own children. Let me tell you, from when before I was even 15, my dad trusted me with going outside to perform and coming back the next day. All he would tell me, when you are done with your performance, when you come back, I will keep the key for you. He trusted in what I could do. My dad is one of the best persons I could count on, that if he was alive, I would have been miles ahead of where I am currently. But we may never know because life has its own way of playing out. But trust me, with the antecedents he said, he actually put me on the path to let me know that the world is for me to take. There is something me and my sister used to always discuss, and she used to say it to me. She said, and I quote, "Do you remember when daddy used to tell you, you are different from others?" I never understood because he always wanted me to fly. So even when I was playing as a child, he would always stop me and tell me, "I hope you know you are different from those children." I thought he was trying to be a classist, but every day I live, I began seeing what he was saying. So guess what? You must make sure your fear of failure is not the reason you are training your children the way you are training them. You don't want to put them in the best school so that people will not say. You are trying not to allow your daughters to actually be self-expressive so that people will not say. Your sons should not question authority so that people will not think. You are trying not to be so successful so that people will not see you. In fact, once again, thank you, Rocky. She used to tell me, why don't you upload some of your explorations, things you have done on your page? I used to say, oh, I don't want people to see me like that. I don't want people to do this. But guess what? I'm beginning to realize that it was all tied to my fear of not being judged in a certain way. Because guess what? Outside of these conversations, I have lived life. I am still living life. I have existed in spaces where people would dream to be. But guess what? Oh, where do you live? I'm in Nigeria. Some people actually think when I say I'm in Nigeria, they see me like the typical Nigerian that they know. But little do they know that the things I do while being in Nigeria are things that most of them never dared to do while they were in Nigeria. Their fathers never did it, but I am doing it. But you see, it is out of their stagnant way of thinking. That is how they reason. You will see it. The patterns are there. I don't know if you understand. So you must, just like Gift said in the comment, correctly renewing your mind. Let me put it for all of you, because it's a statement that will help all of you. Correctly renewing your mind over all your failed relationships. Now saying that you were not compatible. That way, you are going to take a better position. See the fact that what was the thing that went missing, rather than thinking that I am not good enough. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. That is a good one, Gift. That is a good one. You have to actually put in the work. Be willing to try, because if you don't try, you will never know. What can this create again? It can create bureaucracy. It can create avoidance of responsibility, because you think if you take so much, oh, you might not be able to. I have discussed with my sister about, I've even told my sister about my elder sister. I said there are certain behaviors. Do you know why I'm using my life, my family's experience to let you know that I am not telling you these things randomly, and I'm not trying to think because this is social media. It is in my real life. Some of you will say, don't believe what you see on social media. You better believe what I tell you on social media, because that is how it is in my real life. I told my sister, I said, certain of these behaviors that you are witnessing with your sister is because of the avoidance of responsibilities, because they fear. I said, the reason why your uncles and aunties are behaving like this is that they fear that if they take on these responsibilities, they might fail at certain points. So instead of them to risk failing their own family, they rather ignore that you need their help. She was shocked at my explanation, because it best explained the things that we could not know for more than 2 decades. Do you know what it means to discover after 2 decades that your father had properties that people were scared to give to you, because they felt that if they give you those properties, you are going to thrive when they can no longer see you? But little do they know that the kind of children that they were dealing with were people that were already set on a path that was destined for so much more. So I want you not to don't see the challenges in your fear of failure and think that that is what you are holding on to. You must investigate and know that that lifestyle is born out of your fear of failure. Hiding mistakes. You don't want to let your children know that you didn't used to know it as a father. Hey son, oh, I was not so much of a great parent. Yeah, that's my shortcoming. Oh, I didn't know any better. You are scared of saying, oh, at some point I failed. Your mother is the reason why I got back on my feet. Your hiding mistakes has created the wrong narratives to your children. Some people still believe up until this very day that their parents lived a certain way and that's how they must live, failing to understand that a lot of things went underneath that marriage that they are witnessing. I was speaking to somebody. She goes, I'm family oriented. I said, but what is your view on marriage? She said, well, not like marriage is not the most important thing. I said, that means you are not family oriented. You are selfish with family, because you are enjoying the dividends of a family that someone else created, but you are claiming to be family oriented because of the safety net that it gives you being in another person's family. Why are you not looking forward to creating your own family? She was stunned because she had never thought about it like that. Slow decision making. I will do it. This can lead to procrastination. I will do it later. I will do it later. Because every time you try to want to think of that thing you want to do, your stomach fills you, your heart sinks, your intestine rumples, then you begin to use the escape route. I will do it later. And ironically, trying to eliminate failure can actually produce larger failures, because problems remain hidden until they become serious. So the more you keep running, the more you keep going away from it, these things you will never know. All right, no problem. You understand? You understand? So, number 6, it creates learned helplessness. This will be the last one we'll take. Then we're going to come back for part 2. But before we have a part 2, the life goals must be smashed. If the life goals is not smashed, there will be no part 2. So yes, we must break your limiting beliefs that you cannot smash these life goals. Number 6, it creates learned helplessness. This is one of the most damaging effects. Do you know why this one is the most damaging? Because imagine someone repeatedly proposes improvements, but nothing changes. Just imagine. Just imagine. Imagine someone is repeatedly trying to change something, but the situation is still the same. Do you know what you end up telling yourself? There's no point of me trying. You stop suggesting new ideas. You stop challenging problems. You stop taking initiative. You now do what you are told. No, I'm telling you what you must have encountered one way or the other. There is something I'm still fighting with 6 years on, but I cannot look back. We must sojourn on till we get to the end. No looking back till we arrive at the finish point. You begin then guess what? Over time, people around you begin to say, maybe she's not ambitious. You begin to tell yourself, that's true. I'm not an ambitious person.
I currently have just about enough.
Not because it is true though, but simply because you have created a helplessness. You are waiting for somebody to come and save you. But the underlying problem may be that you have learned that your agency does not matter. You have learned that your quest to become is no longer valid. It's no longer as important. You now take the back seat. This can happen to individuals, it can happen to teams, and it can happen to entire communities. All of what we have talked about, the 6 things we said, these things are actually effects of a stagnant culture. If you understood everything we've said to this point, kindly drop a 7 in the chat. Then we go over it. Kindly drop a 7 in the chat. If you understood everything we've talked about up until this point, we have given 6 effects of a stagnant culture. 6 effects. This is not the end. This is just part 1 of the conversation. It's a broad conversation. If you understood everything we've talked about to this point, drop a 7 in the chat. If you have any question, you can drop your question. In summary, for those that are just joining, the topic we're talking about is the damning effect of stagnant culture. So the things we said, one of the effects is, number 1, it limits the people's imagination. If you got that, drop in number 1. I see you, preacher man. Good night. If you got that, drop in number 1. Number 1, it limits people's imagination. One of the effects of a stagnant culture. One of the damning effects. Good. It limits people's imagination. Number 2, it produces limiting beliefs. Drop a 2 if you got that. Number 2, it produces limiting beliefs. I want to be sure that you got everyone. The 6 we talked about. Number 2, it produces limiting beliefs. Who can tell me what number 3 is? Let me see if anybody was writing. Who can tell me what number 3 is? Who can tell me what number 3 is? Guys, if you've not sent your daily heart me, please hit the heart me button. Antito, you are coming late when we are finishing. Do you know what we've discussed about? In fact, Antito, your punishment, smash the life goals. Who can tell me what number 3 is? 6 effects. We discussed about 6 effects of a stagnant culture. A culture that does not live to serve the purpose of the people in their time. That's what we're discussing today. And we've discussed 6 of those effects. And Antito, you are just coming in. So who can tell me what number 3 is? Who can tell me what number 3 is? Let me see if anybody was writing. Number 3, it discourages critical thinking. Number 3, it discourages critical thinking. I'm going to upload this live on my YouTube Thank you, Auntie Tony. I'm going to upload this live on my YouTube channel. So if you are not following me, or to get the YouTube channel, please hit the link in my bio, join the Telegram. I'm going to drop the YouTube link the moment I upload the live. I'm going to drop the YouTube link and the YouTube page on the Telegram. All right, no problem. Number 3, it discourages critical thinking. Drop a 3 if you got that. Drop a 3 if you got that. Drop a 3 if you got that. So all my lives henceforth are going to be uploaded to my YouTube channel. We are going to be uploading it live. No editing. It's just going to be like that. That's how we are going to move henceforth. That's the way. So yeah. So if you're just joining, good news. So make sure when you get the YouTube channel, do well to like and subscribe and share. Number 4, it suppresses innovation. Number 4, it suppresses innovation. Number 4, it suppresses innovation. If you got it, drop a 4 in the chat. Good. Number 5, it creates fear of failure. Remember, the effects of a stagnant culture. Number 5, it creates fear of failure. We are discussing the effects of a stagnant culture. Number 5, part 1. Number 5, it creates fear of failure. Part 2 is going to happen in the next slide. Number 5, it creates fear of failure. And the last one, number 6, it creates learned helplessness. If you got that, drop a 6 in the chat. It creates learned helplessness, where you begin to think that you are the victim. What more can come out of you? Can your life get any better? You begin to look down on yourself. You begin to find valid reasons to why you are the way you are, instead of challenging the norms, instead of stepping out there to becoming the woman that you were designed to become, becoming the man that you were designed to become. Let me let you know something. It is your divine design to shine. It is your divine design to shine. Your design does not carry mediocrity. So every time you look down on yourself, I need you to always remember this. The whole point of being a human being is to become that which is peculiar to you, to become that which you find ease in doing. Will there be challenges? Yes, but you must step out of norms that look like norms and actually go into the reality that you deserve. Is there any question? Do we have any questions? I feel so motivated. I feel so myself tonight that this is the birth of a new dawn. So just know that we are on to new things. We've been on here for 2 hours, 2 solid hours. Somebody was telling me let us do 4 hours, but exactly 1% better every day. That's the whole point. Exactly. I'm happy that you're learning. The whole point is we need just one person to get the message. We need just one person. So if you learned a thing or two, kindly drop a 7 in the chat. If you learned a thing or two, we need only one person to learn, but we want to see if we achieved only one person. If you learned a thing or two, kindly drop a 7 in the chat, or a 77. If you learned a thing or two, guys, we have smashed the target of today. We even have more than 1 7. If you learned a thing or two, kindly drop a 7 in the chat. Please send your daily heart meals. Smash the live goals. Show that you appreciate what you are hearing. Let value speak for itself. We no longer envy the lives of 300 people, 1,000 people, because guess what? We want to grow and get the people we deserve. Who wants this kind of messages I put out there? We are not looking for the numbers, but we are looking for people who need the things we do here. The whole idea is not to make people to stay. The whole idea is to get the message to people who needs it. So guess what? All our lives are going to be uploaded on our YouTube page. No more after 30 days the life is gone. This is the birth of a new era. Welcome to the new era. Drop a fire emoji if you are happy to be part of that new era. And happy new month to everyone in the chat. Wherever you are streaming from, a happy new month. This is the first live of a new month. This is the first live of the new era. Today is our morning, and we are set on a path to achieving a lot of things. Content will soon start getting rolled out, and you will see the difference in what we are trying to do. We must achieve greatness. The goal is to become. Remember, I see you at the top, not from the top, because the bottom is way too crowded. We don't look down on anyone unless we are willing to help them more. Believing that you can is way more profitable than believing that you can't. At the end of the day, Jesus is Lord. Thank you so much for every single one of you for being a part and parcel of this life. You know how we do on our lives. We say thank yous to everyone that were present until we get to our 100,000s of people that we can no longer call the names on the live. But as long as we are on these lives, we will keep doing this. This is our culture over here. Thank you, Olivia. Thank you, Rocky. Thank you, T.I. Gift. Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Douglas. Thank you, Sweet Pie. Thank you, Legendary Boss. Thank you, Smart 11. Pretty Luna. Thank you, Sharon Stone. Mbwa Mosisa. Thank you, Ezo. Thank you, Primos. Thank you, Husseinu Aliyu. Thank you, Ade. Thank you, Frank ID. Thank you, Wakala Ad Katanya. Ifi Tiana. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Zuriel. To every other person that their account is on private, thank you. To those who could not wait till the end of the live, thank you. To those who passed by, thank you. Olama, thank you. To every one of you, Andy the Great, thank you. Preacher Man, thank you. Blessing Podcast, thank you. I say a big thank you to you all. You all are the reason we keep going. So this is part 1 of our conversation. We look forward to part 2. And whether that be on Friday or on Sunday, I will let you know. But we have not resumed our 2 lives a week. But let us see. We might get so lucky that this week will be different. Thank you guys for being a part of this live. Since there are no questions, I was going to take questions, but it looks like everybody is in tune. The frequency is high. Everybody is part of something great. A generation that is about to do wonders. So people are not having questions anymore. And as much as I am worried, but I am also grateful, because I realize that if the understanding is there, we cannot be worried that there are no questions. As long as the understanding is there, then it is beautiful. So, any other thing? Is there any other news? No other news. Remember, some ships are made of wood, and those ships may sink. But the best ships are friendships, and to those ships we drink. Where's my drink? I see you at the top, not from the top, because the bottom is way too crowded. Remember, believing that you can is way more profitable than believing that you can't. Peace and love, guys. I see you on the next one. Bye, guys.